docuseries that I reviewed, and that is The Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. This was a docuseries that was conducted based on the TV shows that were on Nickelodeon. So, and I'm not sure the age of people that are watching this, but you're talking from TV shows from like the early 1980s all the way up to about 2020. That was a good bulk of it. So again, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time tuning in. My name is Rebecca. This is called Red True Crime. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, share, comment to keep the information out there for the algorithm. So it really starts taking place in the late 80s, early 90s with the hiring of a guy by the name of Dan Schneider. He's an actor, he's a writer, he was also a producer, and he was a showrunner, meaning he was somebody who created TV shows. So he had this great idea, to create a kids show, basically like a child's version of Saturday Night Live. And that's what he did. And that show was called All That. And that show launched many a career, like Amanda Bynes, Kenan Thompson, Kel, and I can't think of the other ones, but there's been a few that came off that show. That show, if you watch the docuseries, it starts off talking about how Dan is. It was his way or the highway. It was a lot of misogyny in that place. He didn't feel that women could write. Just a lot of deplorable behavior, showing porn to the female writers and talking about them in sexual manners and whatnot. Just awful, awful behavior. Underpaying them because they were women. That kind of thing. And then there was all these sexual undertones in all the episodes. A lot of phallic type things were put into episodes. Again, I never watched the show because I'm a little old for that show. But my kids watched it. And I didn't pay attention because it is a kid's show, so why should I watch? I should have been watching. But this guy also created, All That was one. He also created The Amanda Show. He created iCarly, which is a huge one. That was one they watched the most. Sam and Cat, Drake and Josh. I'm sure there's a few other ones. I can't think of them right now. But these are all things that he had Victorious, that was another one. But these are all things he had his hands in. A lot of people. He created a lot of careers. Yeah. The amount of destruction that this man is responsible for not being a better person is unbelievable. Not only did he cause these kids to have mental freakouts and eating disorders and substance abuse issues, he hired pedophiles to work there. Pedophiles. The worst one would be a guy by the name of Brian Peck. He was a vocal coach or a dialect coach. He had worked on like Growing Pains. He had a long-standing history in Hollywood. And this is a man that is responsible for basically darn near ending the life of Drake Bell, who was part of Drake and Josh, one of the spinoffs from All That. Poor guy. I mean, he talks about what happened to him, and you could tell he struggled revealing what happened to him. Like even now, after all the therapy and everything else he's done, he is still struggling with that information about what has happened to him. And that's absolutely terrible. And Dan Schneider should be sued. Nickelodeon should be sued. Viacom, which is basically the TV company that ran all this, should be sued because they had a responsibility. There were two people that started off on All That. They were children. They are African American. They were saying that there were some racist undertones and things that they were doing. Like the boy was always put in positions where he's having to play a drug dealer or homeless person, something derogatory. Girl, same thing. And these kids were put in a position that if their parents said anything, they would lose their job. Um, and my big thing is they would not allow the parents to be, hello, they would not allow the parents to be on set with these kids. That's a huge red flag for me. Like, you're not taking my child to do a TV show and me not be involved. That's just not happening. Um, my oldest daughter, when she was about 5, wanted to get into acting, and I wasn't a big fan of that because she's very high-strung emotional, and I didn't think she could handle the pressure. Now, going back, thinking back on it, I'm so glad I put an end to that, because I mean, she had people coming up to me wanting to represent her. She was a very precocious, cute little 5-year-old with crazy curly hair and adorable, and she could talk. She could talk like an adult. She was a child, but she could talk like an adult, which is, you know, and she was very expressive and very funny. And like I said, I'm glad I put a stop to that, because she is somebody that could have very easily been victimized in that industry, because she was a people pleaser when she was 5. She didn't get out of that till she was like a teenager, but she was a people pleaser. She would do anything to make somebody happy, and that would make her a prime victim for somebody who wanted to take advantage of something like that. And so no, she never went down that road. She got mad at me, but she got over it. She's 22, almost 23 now, so hopefully she's over it completely by now. But these parents, I know some that spoke up, their kids lost their careers, and you know, they felt guilty about that. But at the same time, they can find something else to do. You know, you can't blame yourself for protecting your child. You can't. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to do, protect our kids. Keep them from the wolves. That is what we do. So, but like I said, watch the docuseries that is also on HBO Max. It's crazy. And that's another one where you're watching and you're stuck and it keeps your attention, because they talk about different people from different shows. Like one woman, she was on the show, she was the star, and then they brought in Amanda Bynes, and then this girl, because she was getting older, was filling out a little bit, and they said, you can't be the fat one, we already have a fat one, you know. So they're causing eating disorders. I mean, look at Amanda Bynes. You know, when she transitioned off children's TV and started going to adult film, she crashed and burned psychologically. Like, that girl has completely lost her mind. You know, these are things that they're responsible for, I truly believe. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, like I said, Drake Bell talked about how he did a lot of drugs, he did a lot of alcohol, he was in and out of rehab and therapy. And he's coming, I could tell during his interview, he was coming to peace with some things, but I'm sure he has relapses. I mean, you would almost have to. But like I said, watch the docuseries, make your own judgment. But I truly feel that Nickelodeon, Dan Schneider, Viacom, and any other entity involved with those shows need to be sued and held accountable for what happened to these kids. Because now they're adults, and like, I mean, I know one guy, when he lost his job on the show because his mom was speaking up, he didn't speak to his mother for a very long time. And that's a shame. Well, I think that's all I've got to say for right now. But this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and comment and share and all that fun stuff. And have a great day. Be safe. Be weird, be rude, be safe, as I always say. And keep your head on a swivel, because you never know who's watching you. So have a great day, y'all. Be careful. Bye.